Hello, my loves. Welcome back. Can you feel the tension? Okay, so today I really all day have been feeling so called to just record something for you. And the words that came through for today's really testing, realignment, and collective mirroring. So, what I want to share today is one, two, three, four, five, six key things that you need to know about what is taking place right now, the cosmic influences that are really having a big impact and influencing our experience right now. And I'll also share some of my own reflections and what I've been experiencing because I know that you're not alone. Okay. If you don't already know me, my name is Katya Marie. I'm a frequency mentor. I'm also a soul embodiment and evolutionary guide and psychic medium. And I really, most of the time, help people regulate their nervous system, balance their emotions, and just help you become who you came here to be, reach your soul potential. So, with that in mind, I want to talk to you about what is going on right now. We just left the energy of September. We just left September. It's now October 2nd, and there are some big shifts that are already taking place. Can you feel them? Can you feel them? It first felt yesterday on October 1st like there was a bit of a reprieve. And then today, it's just like there's this beautiful reemergence of more tension. And of course, it's all for such good reason. But I really want to help to bring some context to what's going on and how you can navigate it, why it's happening, and really how to leverage it because it's very supportive and will support you tremendously if you know how to work with it. And so that's what we're going to talk about now. So I've got some notes. Hopefully, I stay on track with them. I will keep going back to them. So, you see my eyes going back and forth, that's where I'm going. Okay. So, number one of the six things that I really want to bring forward, because there's some really good nuggets that I want you to be aware of as you go through your day to day. So, number one is initiation and testing. Do you feel like perhaps you are revisiting some themes that you have dealt with before, or perhaps that beyond having dealt with them before, you know that these are themes that you have been dealing with perhaps your whole life? And these storylines, maybe they've remained hidden in the background. You haven't really needed to acknowledge them, but you know they're there. This is kind of a time of reckoning. It is, but in such a powerful way. Because remember, you always hear me talk about we're going into a much higher dimensional experience of life, of living as a human being on the planet. And so we are in the process of purging all that does not meet that higher frequency, that higher vibration. So please look at your life experience and whatever the tension or the pressure is that you're experiencing, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in the relationship with yourself, whether it is with money, whether it is with health, whatever it is, you're here to purge it. So, number one, you may see a little bit more of tests coming your way, and they're for really good reason. And you're being initiated. So, keep those two things in mind. It's not just for the sake of giving you a hard time or to punish you because you haven't dealt with these things enough already or to make you feel guilty because there's still more to do. No, you're right on time. This is just the flow of the evolutionary journey. So today's tension is brought to you by Mercury and Jupiter. And a lot of this is mental, right? And I love the mental realm because there is just so much to weed there. But Mercury represents the mind in many ways, and Jupiter is about expansion. And so when they're getting together, especially approaching the full moon in Aries, which is coming on is it the 6th? I think it's the 6th. We'll check as we get down in my notes. But next week, as we get there, it is going to continue to amplify. So it is showing us things that maybe don't align with this new identity that you've come into the awareness that you are stepping into. This feeling like, okay, I'm going to let go of this old version of me and I'm stepping into this new version. Well, if that's true, and it is, and your soul is making this invitation to you, which it is, then wouldn't it be good and wouldn't it be helpful if you were to be aware and come into full awareness of anything that is not of that true identity, that new identity that you're stepping into, so that you can clear out the closet, so to speak, get rid of those old clothes, the stuff that doesn't fit anymore, or maybe it still fits, but it doesn't feel good to wear. Yes. So that's what this time is about. And that's what these two celestial beings are bringing to the party and what they're putting on the table for us as options and things to play with. So be aware of that. So I particularly noticed a feeling of pressure today. And the same thing, it was a revisiting of themes. And what you may notice, I noticed this myself. If you didn't notice this, illuminate it for you and offer this to you. It's about refinement. So this crucible of pressure that you may be feeling, if you are not in awareness or not conscious in the moment, it may feel like frustration coming up, defeat coming up, because you're like, not this again. I mean, I just dealt with that. What is this? Keep in mind, and this is where the initiation part comes in. When you have just stepped through a threshold, you have owned who you are being, who you have been in the past, who you want to become, and you step into that, or you simply make a change, right? That really is down at the roots of who you are being. The next thing that typically happens is the soul will orchestrate some kind of situation, circumstance, or scenario that you get to play with. Why? It's like when you get your driver's license. You take your driver's training, you decide, I want to become a driver. You learn, you get on the road, you pass the test. Then what do you got to do? You got to get on the road again and go through the red light, do the parallel parking, whatever it is. You need something to test yourself against. Maybe that should have been an analogy. You go to the training and then you feel confident and then you have to do your test. Either way, it can work both ways. So the point is, your soul is going to orchestrate something for you that's going to give you an opportunity to stand in what you know theoretically, to stand in what you have maybe felt, okay, grounded into once. Now it's about diving deeper and growing roots from that experience or that decision or that change. And that's where this really becomes an initiation. Because if it was just something you cleared, that's fine. You're lighter. You have a little less baggage. Your frequency shifts. Your blueprint's a bit better. Great. But when you're being initiated, it's like, okay, good. You got that one? Wonderful. Let's do it again. How does it feel now? Great. Dive it in deeper. Integrate that. How does it feel? Good? Better? Great. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Now look in the mirror. Who are you? And you're like, not who I was at the beginning of that experience. And your soul, which is you, it's like, exactly. Welcome home. Great job. Next. Does that make sense? Because that's what this season is. That's what October is. September was so much about the original opening of that initiation. Some big, powerful shifts were happening. Awarenesses were dropping in. Oh my God, this is who I want to be. This is what I want to do. This is what I don't want. I'm tired of that. Okay, wow. The space to experience it, think it, feel it, take a few steps in that direction. Did it not feel kind of wobbly? And then you started to get sort of settling into it. Well, we're still settling into it. But we're in a place now where now we need something a little more challenging. Even though what we went through in September felt like, okay, that's a big challenge in some ways, right? And I'm not saying that the challenges are always bad, because through so much of the initiations I know I personally experienced in September, yeah, there was some heaviness. There was also so much inspiration. and so much lightness. So it is a mix of both. I'm not trying to say that you should expect to feel heavy, because that's not necessarily the case, but just have an awareness that this is sort of the rhythm, right? It's like that sine wave, that rhythm that we're going to be going through. And we're just at the beginning of a few weeks of this. So I want to prepare you. Next. Okay, I've talked about that enough. Number 2, realignment and conscious responding. Realignment and consciously responding. So this is part of the whole initiation experience, because when you have already come into awareness of something, so you're in the middle, we're in the middle of our initiations, right? There's like mini initiations, challenges that take place, and then there's a grander one. So in the grand initiation that many of us are experiencing right now, we're in the middle, which means we are simply realigning, constantly realigning to that new post that is our benchmark, the new expanded benchmark of you. And that means that now that you have the awareness of what you want to shift and where you have begun the shift, there's going to be a call and a requirement from you, and you can't avoid it, to consciously respond differently to whatever it is that is presenting itself to you. That's how we expand. And that's the expanded consciousness, the expanded awareness of yourself coming through and showing up in life, in your human experience differently. It's a beautiful place to be, because now you are in the 4 stages of learning, right? That you are consciously incompetent, which is like where you know what to do and you're starting to do it, but you're not in mastery yet, where it's unconsciously competent. You are taking the steps and it's still a little bit wobbly, but you're doing it. It's like tying your shoelaces for the first time, right? You're still thinking about what you're doing, but it's not the first time you've tied them. So you know what to do and you're getting quicker at doing it, but you're not like doing it blindfolded yet, right? That's the stage that we're in. So give yourself some grace and just enjoy the process. Now, I was going through something like this today. So I just moved through something that felt like pressure, that felt like density, and I took my time to really navigate it over the last few weeks, right? Allowing myself to be detached, always tuning in to my higher aspects, which I encourage you to do too, and feeling into it. Am I making a decision out of emotionality? I don't want to do that. That is always an indication that we are making a choice from the lower mind. And what is the lower mind? The lower mind is the ego mind, which is not you. No aspect of the ego mind is you. Okay. Think of it as kind of like an implant. It's beautiful. It's great. It's entertaining, but it's not you. So checking to see, where am I coming from? So I was feeling that pressure, and also choosing to slow down and just navigate it carefully, thoughtfully, making sure that I was staying in alignment, not being reactive, which is the opposite of responsive, right? And then making decisions from that place, from a place of alignment, and being able to receive the higher guidance that is available when we're in that place. When we are in the mind and we're taking everything and doing everything logically, or trying to meet others' expectations and so forth, any decision we make is going to get us in trouble. I say that lightly as more of a joke, but it's the kind of phrase that I think you can understand, right? It just takes us down the wrong path. Okay, so we are in this place right now, this season of consciously responding. We're still in the middle of this initiatory phase. So notice where you're seeing things show up for you. And now be aware that you have awareness about how you have been in the past. You cannot undo what you know. Don't be in denial. It gets very uncomfortable. So take your time. You have the space and you have the time, regardless of what your mind may tell you, you are in the middle of a soul initiation. If it feels like it's heavy and you're saying to yourself, I could really use a few minutes to ground myself, do it. The world outside, the quantum arena around you will reflect what you're doing. And you create the space you need by taking the space you need. I hope that makes sense. So, what I did, I'll reflect to you what I did today. I was feeling so many things, so much expansion from dots being connected in a grander initiation I've been going through this whole year, which has been beautiful and powerful. And my God, yeah, so exciting. And then at the same time, within the same day, a feeling like I am floating from just unbelievable connections and awarenesses I'm making to my lineage, to incarnational soul blueprinting. It's coming forward in waves for me at the moment. And it's so profound, and it almost leaves me like, I don't even know what to do with this. So that in a sense is expanding. And then on the other side of the same day, because you would say that's kind of exciting stuff. That's fun stuff, right? The same day, bam, I get this interesting email, totally unexpected, from someone I love, I appreciate. And something happened in the communication, which I don't remember which planet that is, but Mercury is part of it. They must have misconstrued something. So there's this disappointment coming from them, hurt, interpretations of not being integrous, so many things that were so unexpected. And so what was interesting is that I had just navigated and moved through an experience that echoed kind of similar theme, totally different characters, like people, but similar. And I was confused the first time, and then I was confused with this one as well. So I'm noticing the first thing I did, okay? And I encourage you to do the same thing. Remember that whatever is happening external has nothing to do with the external players. Obviously, they're having their own experience, but what you are seeing is there to reflect to you, not what you see. That's the misconception of mirroring. It is simply there to show you, what is it bringing up in you? What are you feeling? And so I ask myself, okay, what is this bringing up in me? And then I notice the patterns and the stuff from, my goodness, so long, little threads of things running through my own blueprint, and the programming, the ego programming that I came in with, right? What it brought up with was, in some areas, was like concern about how others would view me, what their opinion would be of me. And so way at the beginning of that journey, that story, that was an initial trigger. And then through moving through the whole thing, I evolved, released. We talked about this in some of the other videos, right? The opportunity to just shed and let go of so much that was coming up. And then left on the other side, what are you when you release something, when you transmute something? You feel lighter, you feel more authentic, you are more empowered because you're able to embody more of your soul expression. So it's a very, very powerful experience. And yet, because we are human beings going through this journey in linear time, we need to take our time and we need to revisit things. So it's this constant, like what the 9 was, right? The September month, the 9 is like going back, going back, going back. And so that's what we're doing now. So this new theme was bringing up similar stuff, but now realignment and conscious response, much more awareness. It's like immediate, like, oh yeah, I remember. I just like literally, I was just thinking about these things, dealing with these things, and shifting and realigning. So this now comes much easier. So you should probably notice the same thing. that when your theme repeats, and it may repeat again later because there'll be other alignments that come in November, but it's getting easier. It's like, oh yeah, I just dealt with that. Okay, so now today, like I said, such expansion and then such interesting pressure. Well, not pressure, but like it just feels like, and there's a trine that was created by some of the planets that come into alignment right now. So anytime there's a trine, it feels like pressure for a moment. So I was feeling that. And so I said, okay, so for more than one reason, for the expanded reason, meaning I was just like, so my consciousness and frequency was elevating all day. I hardly ate anything. I didn't need to because my frequency was just so high. The vibration within me and around me was sustaining enough. And then this pressure moment came, and I just immersed myself right into that and dropped into the awareness. And then was like, okay, how do I respond differently to this? Okay, take what I learned. So again, that's that conscious incompetence. I'm learning. Okay, I did that last time. Yeah, that's right. Now my soul has expressed to me that part of what it wants me to transmute and step into in this new identity is blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm doing this through my day. And then at the end of working through all this, I'm like, okay, wow, what a day. What I really feel like I need now is grounding. And so for me, with my makeup, instantly, I want to go to the water. And I promise I'm going to share more of this. I keep recording. It's like a ritual that has now just become part of my expression. And I have not been sharing it, and I intend to. So that's what I did today. Recorded something, just so happened I fell out of the screen, but you kind of see me going in. Either way, I went to the water and I used the element of water to do a few things. One was anchor in my appreciation and awareness for this pattern repeating because I can see so clearly through these eyes the perfection of this repeating. It's like a heartbeat bringing me into greater and greater resonance with the true heartbeat of my soul, my true expression. I won't use any other language to make it sound too airy-fairy, but you get my point, right? So I stood in the water and I just was consciously responding differently. First of all, I was responding to the outer world in a different way, very consciously, right? I'm in the moment and I'm allowing everything that's come up in appreciation. I'm opening up to all of it and then allowing it to all dissipate into the water, into the sand, under my toes, and just letting it all go. And then receiving what's supportive for me from the water. And as I'm doing that, I'm also grounding, an even more potent grounding ritual of connecting to my higher self, my aspects, my soul. So doing that in the water. And I'll tell you one thing, when I get off of our video and I've posted this and shared this, I'm going right back into the water. I decided that earlier, and I'm going to take a sip of water right now. Because for me, that feels very, very supportive. So for you, if it's something else, walking barefoot, laying on the grass, embracing a tree, breathing in nature, whatever it is, generally connecting to the natural elements is going to be supportive, especially now. So whatever it is for you, it's about realignment and conscious response and doing what you need to do to release that excess energy, to release programming and lower miasmic energy from your system. And then being able and willing to remain conscious and choose differently. Choose differently in, let me see here, in the things that you commit to. Okay. How you respond, what are the patterns you are finding you are falling into? Refine those. Again, conscious awareness, conscious response. And using your inner guidance. Like I said, make sure you're doing that, tuning into that. If you need help with that, please let me know. It is a passion of mine, it is an expertise of mine, and just reach out, and I'm sure we can figure something out. Everything is on trial now, though. This is important to know. Everything is on trial, and not in a bad way, right? It's about truth, illumination, and liberation, ultimately, to your truest expression. And from that place, there is nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. All right, number 3. I'm going to see if we can move through these more quickly. Okay, just community and collective mirrors. So the moon right now is in Aquarius, and let me see. I want to keep this succinct. In your communities, whether that's family, social, work, whatever the community space is, be aware of how you are showing up, how aligned or misaligned it feels, where you feel you are not being sovereign, and know that this is a time when you need to remain true to yourself. If something doesn't feel true to you and you're in a group setting, my partner just went through this recently, you have to speak up. You have to be willing to share what's true for you. If you're being put in those situations, it's not just for the sake of it. You're in those situations as a training ground. Okay? It's a training ground for you because you are given this play space, this playground to test yourself and prove yourself that you're not afraid to be who you are. And that's what it comes down to. We, as human beings evolving at this time on the planet, have to be willing to stand in what feels true and not shrink anymore. Even if it's someone that you love dearly and you don't want to disappoint them. Even if it's a group, specifically we're talking about the collective and talking about groups because that is where it's showing up a lot, is being willing to be the black sheep, right? It will create repercussions that you cannot imagine. And that's why you're being invited into it, not just because of what it does for you. And I shared this with my partner the other day when he was, going through his own stuff. We're all dealing with the group thing in some way. And I was saying, and this applies to you and me and everybody, that when we're willing to speak that truth, buck the current, go against what may show up in leadership because it's really true and you know it's not your ego. If it's your ego, it's going to get messy. So enjoy the ride. But if it's really a soul truth, a truth, that higher consciousness truth, it's aligning with Christ consciousness, then we have an obligation to ourselves, to our journey, and to the other people that are in that cluster, that community, that group, because we will activate them. You will activate them. And that's exactly what happened. It allows, you give other people a permission slip when you stand for what's true for you. If you do it at a place of ego, it doesn't work as well in terms of the positive impact that you will have on others around you. Then you just look like another egomaniac yourself, and then it's just like, it's just drama. But if you are trying to consciously evolve yourself, then those opportunities give you a stage to prove to yourself that you can be yourself no matter what. And as others witness you, they get the inspiration and call it the courage to do what you just did. And it creates this massive ripple effect that goes through everyone, whether it's the leadership, whether it's the other people, members of the community, whether it's people watching the community from the outside and see the whole thing unfold. It doesn't matter. It's powerful. So please don't shrink from those opportunities. I know it feels uncomfortable, but you came equipped and we all came to do it. And we're all doing it. And sometimes it feels unnerving, and that's okay. Do the best you can with what you can in the moment. Stay out of the drama and do your best. And then you will get another test. Going back to number 2, the tests. It's fine. There'll be many of them. And as you come out the other side, you're going to feel so relaxed, proud of yourself. And then you've grown. You're like, oh my God, I'm glad I did that. Relate to that? I feel like I'm preaching. Oh, well, hopefully this is resonating. Okay. I'm going to go through 4, 5, and 6 real fast. Preparation for the full moon. Okay, this full moon is coming. It's in Aries. And yeah, the full moon and Mercury are going into Scorpio. There's going to be a lot of purging. It's going to be big. And it's going to be great. So just use today as a grounding checkpoint. That would be one thing I would definitely encourage. What's ready to show up? What are you not yet able to reveal to yourself, own yet? Just become aware. Get yourself comfortable, because this whole period is about illuminating truth. So like all our dirty laundry is just going to come out, whatever it is. And don't be surprised if that dirty laundry isn't really yours, but it's kind of getting pinned on you. The laundry I'm speaking of will be whatever your programming is pointing to, because it's not, again, about the external scenario. It's about how is it making you feel. So if it's going to be more effective to make you feel the way you need to feel to discover that illusionary pattern in your belief systems and programming, then maybe it is more important that someone says something to you that's not true to who you are, or they accuse you of something that you didn't do, or that they're seeing in a completely different way than you intended. If that's the best thing to trigger that response in you, then that's the perfect thing to happen, right? Anyways, keep that stuff in mind, because remember, it's just not about the external. It's how's it making me feel? If you took one thing away from this video, it's that when you look at what's happening and you see how you feel when you react to the thing, ask yourself the one question, not why are they doing that? Don't look outside, look inside and say, wow, okay, got it. How is this making me feel? And then why am I feeling that way? And then you can get to it. Number 5, embodiment and grounding as a ritual. So we already talked about the grounding as a ritual, I think. We don't need to go back there. Make it an embodied practice. Like, just get into the routine now. If you're not already doing that as a routine, do it. Pick something that will allow you to ground yourself when things are really good and it's maybe too good and you're just like floating. Like I had my morning just like, oh my God, like my feet aren't on the ground. And then the heaviness after from like, oh, intensity, right? I definitely felt like I needed to ground. For me lately, water has been such a thing. What is it for you? Find that thing and ground. And again, just repeating that grounding through going into stillness, perhaps using your breath and grounding to your soul, your higher self, to source, to God, is actually the most connected way to ground and supportive way to ground. But all the other ways using Gaia is also extremely helpful. So pick your, I don't say medicine, but pick your joy. All right, last one, initiation and shared humanity. This ties right back into number one. So maybe there was 4.5 things really, because 5 we already kind of talked about. And this is really revisiting the first one. The point is, we are all going through this. I feel like I talk about this all the time. But please know that the weight that you may feel like you're carrying is not just yours. Well, I should rephrase that. You're not the only one carrying the weight. And it's really not weight once you come into the awareness of what it is. So I would encourage you to reframe what you're looking at, what you're experiencing, whatever it is. And believe me, I know and I understand how heavy these things can feel. But please remember, they're happening so purposefully, specifically tailored for you, because they were orchestrated by you. Now, I know so many of you watching these know that. And it's just a mental knowing. If you don't embody that, you still feel pressure, fear, discomfort. But when you do embody that knowing, nothing can touch you. And that's where I really want everybody to get to. And I fall off that train all the time. And then I get right back on. So know that we're all in this together, doing the same thing, playing with different playgrounds, different situations, different players, but no one's exempt. Nor do you want to be. This is how you expand and how you embody the truth of who you are. This beautiful power, creative, powerful, creative soul creator. And that's who you came to be. All right. We've got the full moon coming in Aries on October 6th. I don't know what day that is next week, but it's someday next week. This day, today, is like a preparatory day. So take stock. Notice what's been coming up for you. In a sense, get comfortable with it. And if you want, preempt it. Start to do your own self-check, inventory, audit, and just get ready for things to come up and for things to be released. And that's going to make this whole period feel so much, because we came to play with this, guys, right? Do you guys agree? I'd really love to know what you are experiencing, what you're noticing, and did this serve you or support you? I've made a commitment to just be visible more, and be sharing. So I would love to interact with you. And YouTube peeps, I really love you. I have to say, there is something so special about those of you that are here with me on this journey through this medium. I really, really appreciate it and appreciate you. And I feel the connection. I do. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to share your comments, because I do like to feel the pulse more literally. And feel free to share the video, subscribe. I really want to get to 300 subscribers. It's such a small number. I feel silly celebrating it, but it means a lot to me. It really does. And I'm going to celebrate when I hit 300. We're just a few away, 3 away. 3. Can you share this with 3 people and ask them to subscribe? Could you? I'm kidding, but I'm also not kidding. Like, really, I would love to hit 300. But in all seriousness, I've really enjoyed this journey that we're on together. And please, I hope that this does resonate. If it resonates and you've actually watched this far, thanks. And applause to you, because it means that we are on the same page. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah. I've given you enough cues. Invitation to you. Feel your own testing moments. Okay. Number one, feel what they are. Take an audit. Number two, just get comfortable with them. Get comfortable with them. Preempt them if you want. Just start releasing them. Start. If you need help with that, let me know. We have some really powerful tools coming to the community in the next, hopefully, just a couple weeks longer. I'm so excited about. But if you have trouble with that stuff, it's all going to be in there. All going to be in there. Be all you need. um, and then just consciously be the elevated version of yourself. You know too much now. You've learned a lot through July, August, September. Now let the rubber hit the road. Be your expanded self. Be it. You can do it. I know you can do it. And when you do it, oh my God, the world will open up for you. I'll tell you one thing quickly. I was at the water, and I'll share this video for you. I was at the water and I was realizing and so celebrating my own awareness around the patterns and appreciating the repeating of what showed up today. I'm like, this is so freaking perfect. Like, it's just so perfect. And I really was appreciating it. I wasn't complaining about it. And I was also reflecting on how I actually did navigate it differently and how I'm enjoying the process of greater and greater embodiment of my true expression as I move through. And as soon as those words came out of my mouth and were complete, no word of a lie, a bird comes, lands on the chair, probably not more than 18 inches from my face. And now I feel like I'm in a Disney movie because that does not happen. We're in the wild here. That doesn't happen here. It's not like you're in like downtown Toronto or something and birds are always coming up to you because they know you'll feed them. No, it landed on the chair and I put my hand out and I had my camera in my hand. So I said, okay, I'll film this because I got the nudge. You should film this. And there's bird, beautiful bird. One of my favorite birds is a chickadee. Behaved. He's just landing on my hand. Another one landed on my head. I've seen this in places where there's a lot of people around and they're always feeding them. We don't have that here. We don't have that here. So there was no coincidence that when this awareness was flooding through me, my field was expanding. The quantum play was engaged at a higher level because the threshold that I just passed through and the bandwidth I was now able to access changed. And it was being mirrored back to me as confirmation that, yes, you're doing a good job. And you will see the same thing. Watch for your own magic. For me, that was beautiful and magical. And so I had quite a fun time with this bird that continued to fly and land on my hand and on my head. And it was just joyous. And those are the kinds of, call them rewards, that you can expect when you consciously make an effort to be your best self, not in a performative way for others. It's you knowing your highest potential, taking the steps to dismantle the ego structure within you that is clouding your true expression, and step by step, stepping into more authentic expression of you. Magic unfolds everywhere, everywhere. And that is the high frequency, the higher vibrational experience of Earth that we are moving into. This is the new Eden. This is what we are doing. So many, many moments of our day will feel magical. Anyways, I can't seem to stop talking. So I love you dearly. Like this if it supported you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And know that I so appreciate you and just love being on this journey with you. We are all in this together, my friends. Namaste. Take a deep breath in with me and let it out. Another deep breath in and let it out. One more deep breath. And so it is. Soon.